Welcome back. Uh, Hello, friends. Welcome back to the my channel. Uh, as we know that we have started our unit third, and into that we have started a principle that guide practices. In the roof of this heading, we have completed principles that guide process, principles that guide practice, communication principles. Today, I'm going to take a look on the next point, that is a planning principle. Why should the planning is most important part of the development or the project development, or which principle should we follow while working with a project? The all discussion will be done in this section, that is the planning principles. Let's get started. In planning's principles, the communication activity helps you to define your overall goal. Okay, planning is nothing but identify the goals, which goals or which important part should we have focus most importantly, and the objectives, that is the subjects of course to change as time passes. Okay, the goal or goal is nothing but a different functionality which should be included into a project or working product. Okay, and that might be a changed after some times or time just passes. As per time passes, we have to add some functionality into that, but basic core or important goals we have to identify. According to that, we have to plan everything. Okay, however, understand these goals and objectives is not the same as defined as plan for getting there. Yes, of course. As we know that once we have defined our goals, that goals might be changed after some times just because of changing the requirements or the enhancing the requirements as per the customer need. Okay, so we have to follow the plans, as well as we have to flexible that plans also to adapt multiple tasks or functionality into that. So the managements and technical practices that enables the software teams to define or identify the roadmap as it travels towards its strategies, goals, and tactical objectives. That means we have to plan the roadmap. We have to follow the sketches or the graphs which we have developed according to the requirements, and after some times we have to also change there should be some flexibility to adapt all the requirements or greater requirements which we welcoming requirements from the customer as days passes or the time passes. Okay, over planning is a time consuming and fruitless. Yes, that is the most of the time that happens while developing a project. Sometimes we planned our project and we took too much time to planning, but it's not really work. Okay, so over planning is most dangerous. Over planning is time consuming and fruitless. Okay, too many things changes. Software is always as I told you that software is never ever ending process. Every time the new requirements comes, we have to change our project, or we have to add all these requirements into that. For that matter, we have to train our mindset, or we have to already understand all these things, that our planning will be changed in some days or some at some point. So that according to that, we have to plan everything. So over planning is most dangerous, but under planning is also a receipt of chaos. Chaos is nothing but ambiguity. We have to plan in a moderate way. Okay, under planning and over planning are both are dangerous. We have to plan in a moderate way. Like most things in life, planning should be conducted in moderations. Okay, as I told you that planning should be in a moderate, not too much, not too low, enough to provide useful guidelines for the team. No more, no less. That should be a useful. So uh, according to the planning principles, there are I think 10 principles are there. We have to follow all these principles to get to achieve the planning as per our required task, or require to grab this schedule or chase the schedule in time. Okay. The first principle is that understand the scope of the project. Scope is nothing but boundary lines. We have to fix some boundaries. Okay. While we while we gather all the requirements from the customers or the end user, we have to take all the requirements and fix some boundaries. Okay. Just because of software is never ever ending process. That means new requirements also come in days passes, but we have to stop somewhere so that we can achieve our goal in a deadlines or in a required schedule timeline. Okay. That means that we have to focus on the scope or what are the what are the main or core part of the software, so that we can work on that. Okay. It is impossible to use the roadmap if you don't know where you are going. Scope provides the software team with a destination. Okay. So first of all, we have to choose a roadmap. According to roadmap, we know that we can understand up to where we want to develop our project, and according to that we can chase our destination. Okay. The second principle is involve stakeholders in the planning activities. As we discussed in previous most of the modules, such as spiral modules and agility, we discussed that our team member should contain one of the member of the customer or the stakeholder customer or end user should be present. Okay, that means we have to communicate one of the uh, end user on a daily basis. Okay, so that we track our project, that we are on a right track or we have to work more hard. Okay, so that means we have to involve the customer in the planning activities which we are going to work on. Stakeholders define the priorities and establish project constraints. To accommodate these, realistic software engineering must often negotiated order of deliver timelines and other project related issues. Sometimes if we not allowed to customer to involve in the project planning activity, and that might causes the more issues like schedulings or timeline slabs. That might be so many problems can be arise. So that if we add one of the customer or the one of the stakeholders in our project, so that we can work with him and we can plan our all the activities according to the customer's look. Okay. Or yeah, the most oftenly we can take a feedback from our customer, and according to that feedback we can move further without any error. Okay, without any issues. I hope you understood. Next principle is that principle 3, recognize that planning is iterative. Yes, of course. Planning is iterative is nothing but we have to plan. After that, we have to design, coding, deployment. Again, we have to take feedback from the customer. According to that feedback, if any errors or some tasks, some functions they want to be added into custom software, we have to again plan. That means this process is never ever ending process. That is a circular process, iterative process. We have to recognize all these things first. The project plan is never engraved in stone. Okay, as work begins, it's very likely that things will changes. As consequences, the plan must be adjusted to accommodate these changes. In addition, iterative incremental process models dictate replanning after delivery of each software increment based on the feedback received from user. As I discussed, as we have discussed that after the feedback taken from the customer, we have to replan or we have to consider all the requirements from the customers, or some of the requirements which we have to add or adapt to our software, that should be added or reconstruct each and every part. That is nothing but iterative statements. Okay, hope understood. Next principle is estimate based on what you know. Yes. While working with this project, you have to knowledge about the domain on which you are working with. Okay. That means you have to estimate based on what you know, what you actually know. You have to work on that first, and some of the points you have to gather from the customers or the stakeholders or the end user. The intent of the estimation is to provide an indication of efforts, costs, and the task duration. Based on the team's current understanding the work to be done, if information is vague or unreliable, estimations will be equally unreliable. That means whatever you have to gather, or whatever you are working with requirements, that should be realistic. Otherwise your time, your work, totally wasted. Okay, so the information should be realistic, reliance, or the truth, on which you can easily trust, so that you can work with a great plan. Okay. Next principle is consider risk as you define the plan. Yes, if you have identified a risk that have impact and a high probability, contingency planning is necessary. In addition, the project plan, including the schedule, should be adjusted to accommodate the likelihood that one or more of these risks will occur. That means most of the time there are lots of risks. According to your customer requirements, we have to take care of all these risks, consider all the risk factor. According to that, we have to plan everything. Okay, so plan everything according to the risk. That is important. Next is be realistic. People don't work 100% of every day. That's true. No one work 100% every day. Noise always enter into any human communication. Omissions and ambiguity are fact of life. Some of the problems arises of your colleagues or customers or anyone. That means some kind of problems or noises can be entered in your project while doing. Change with occurs. Even the best software engineers make mistakes. These and other realistic should be considered as project plan is established. While doing a planning, that most important is your plan should be flexible. According to the plan, we have to schedule, and we have to take care of the time also. Just because of all these colleagues or customers are a human beings, and human beings do some errors, even though they are a very knowledgeable or expert persons. Okay, so we have to take care of all these things while doing a planning. Okay, that means nobody work 100%. Some of the points, at some points, uh, most of the people faces some problems or crisis. Personal life might be, or might be official. So we have to take care of all these things, and then we have to plan everything. Okay. Next principle is adjust granularity as you define the plan. Granularity is nothing but a deep. Okay, and in left key points, you can say that the term granularity refers to the details with which some elements of the planning it's represent or conducted. That means you have to work on a lower or very much deep points, or very detailed in terms of. Okay, so you have to plan with a granularity in a detailed manner. Okay, granularity refers to the levels of details that is introduced as a project plans is developed. Okay, high granularity plans provides a significant work task detail that is planned over a relatively short time increment, so that the tracking and the control over occur frequently. Okay, a low granularity plans provides a broader way tasks that are planned over a larger time period. In a general, granularity moves from high to low as the project timelines move away from the current date. Over the next week or next few weeks or months, the projects can be planned in significant details. Activities that won't occur for many months do not require high granularity. Too much can change. Okay, that means we have to work planning as per the detailed description so that each and everyone can understand easily. Okay, that is the goal of this, that is the main aim of this principle 7, that is adjust granularity as per your defined plan. Okay, move further. Plan principle 8, that is define how you intend to ensure quality. Yes, quality is the most important factor. We have to work as per our deadline, but focus on a quality. As we discussed in our previous principles, that focus should be on a quality. The plan should be identify how the software team intend to ensure quality. If technical reviews are to be conducted, there should be a schedule. If pair programming is to be used during a construction, it should be explicitly defined within the plan. Yes, we have discussed about the pair programming. Pair programming is nothing but a two programmers or developers work together on a same part or same module so that they can discuss with a greater details and take a proper actions. If some of the misses, the other can discover what kind of errors would be occur in a next future. So we have to take care of all these things, and for the quality matter we have to work with the pair programming is the most crucial or important or vital part of this project development. Okay, personally I recommend that if project is in a greater level, we have to work with a pair or a multiple programmer and on a single module, so that every model is checked or tested by multiple person at a time. Okay. uh, okay, next is on principle 9, describe how you intend accommodate changes. As I told you that in a day, as a day passes, the most of the requirements comes, we have to adapt all these things even though we have planned our everything, that is a plan gathering or requirement specification. Even though we have to focus on the welcoming, we have to welcome all the requirements from the customers as per the day passes, just because of we are working with the agility process. Okay. That means accommodate each and every points which are required or the most important tasks which we discover after some days passes. Okay, even the best planning can be obviated by the uncontrolled change. You should identify how changes are to be accommodated as a software engineering work process proceeds. For example, can the customer request a change at any time? If a change is requested, is the term obliged to implement it immediately? How is impact and the cost of the changes addressed? Lots of things are there. We have to take care of all these things while doing a planning. Okay, we have to plan as per all these principles. Then our project will be the successful. Okay, next and last principle is that to track the plan frequently and make adjustment as required. Yes, of course, that means we have to track our plan. Whatever we are going to work, we have to verify each and every task as per the required, whatever we are working, that are on a right track or not. Even if we have that's why we have to communicate with our customer on a daily basis, so that if he is involved in each and every process, so that we can every time take some feedback from him, and according to that feedback we can work with that all these things. The software project fall behind the schedule one day at a time. Therefore, it makes sense to track progress on daily basis, looking for problems, areas, and situations in which schedule work does not conform to actual work conducted. When a slippage is encountered, the plan adjusts accordingly. Yeah, that most of the time happens, that the project delayed. Some of the might be some lots of reasons behind that, small things, or might be a big things, but we have to take care of all these things according to the schedule plan, or we have to adjust all these things. Okay, I hope you understood each and every principles, even though if you have any kind of problems or any principles if not understood properly. So please make sure that you have to comment in comment section so that I take care of all these comments and try to resolve your problems as early as possible. Uh, Please do comment and take care. We'll take next point on in our next lecture. Thank you. Have a nice day.